What is going on, YouTube? I am back with another video for you guys today. This video today is about why your leg training has to be a little barbaric. It's got to be a little tough. You got to slam that foot down, pedal to the metal heel, and you really got to put that effort in. And since we're doing some heavy squats, let's start off with squats, right? They are probably one of the best exercises to overload the legs, right? You can overload the quads if you keep that knee forward. If you kind of sit back more in your hips, you can use more hamstrings. But you can always use heavy weights. You can go wide, close grip. There's tons of variations. So box squats, you can't really ever get too tired of squats. And so it's nice to always keep them in your program and just to use some heavy weights with a variety of rep ranges, right? Sometimes you might want to do low reps. Sometimes you might want to move on to higher reps, but you want to switch it up. There's a time and a place for everything. So since you see me doing hamstring curls, another quality to really get in some big legs, some horse legs, is to make sure you're getting a really adequate stretch. Sometimes, if you see where my thighs are, my shorts, I like to put a yoga mat or a pad under them. I learned that called Omni-Man. But just something to promote more of a stretch in the legs, to target muscle that you're trying to use. Use your legs every day, right? So not only are they resilient and they take a lot of stress normally, but that means when you go to train them, you really have to ramp it up, kind of add another layer of effort, another layer of intensity on there. You see me doing some hip thrusts. Don't be afraid to try variation with your leg training, right? Training in only one modality, one form, one position is not going to get you strong. It's not going to hit the muscle from all kinds of angles. And so you need to switch it up. And you're not always going to feel like doing heavy squats or deadlifts. So just make sure you have kind of a big toolbox of a ton of exercises that you can do, that you can overload the legs with. Heavy weights, high reps, and yeah, it's going to be fatiguing. But again, these legs are resilient. We use them in our everyday life. Every time you move something, you're probably using your legs. So don't be afraid to go hard. Take that volume all the way up, right? Like if you're doing a program, obviously start smart. When you're in the first couple of weeks, start with kind of low sets. But as you start to ramp up the intensity, don't be scared to get to 20 sets per week, split across different days, right? You might do more sets on your squat day and then less direct sets on your quads on your deadlift day. But don't be afraid to switch it up and to get a ton of work in, a ton of sets, a ton of volume. Sometimes, like I said earlier, 5 to 10 reps, go to 15, go to 20, go to 30 reps, see what that feels like. Try to go to 20 with some heavy squats. Now, of course, you got to be strategic, like I keep saying. You can't go to 20 with some heavy squats consistently, but once a month or once every 45 days, if that's a little challenge you want to try, then hey, have at it. Little things like a full range of motion or switching between unilateral, so one-legged exercises, to bilateral exercises. These are all tricks that can switch it up, right? And the trick is, I keep saying the word trick, is to not use all your exercises at once, right? Maybe you only use 6 to 8 leg exercises for a couple months, and then you let off the gas with those and switch, and then you switch around, right? Maybe there are some staples like a heavy squat, but even then you can switch it up. You can do a box squat. You can practice the wide stance for a little bit. You can do a front squat, focus more on your quads, your core. There's a lot of ways to build your legs, but you got to put the time in. You got to put the effort in. Here you can see me doing some RDLs, right? The thing about like the RDLs and those lying hamstring curls, think about the positioning of the muscle. These are training the hamstring in the lengthened position as opposed to a hamstring curl or leg extension, right? When you're seated down, these muscles are bent. There's just different ways that you can attack the muscle, and you're going to want to, right? Muscles like the quads are made up of several different heads, and if you're not changing things like your foot positioning, the foot width, or the way your knees are pointed, then you're not going to effectively hit all the heads. You're not going to effectively get as much growth as we're able to. And again, just another tip for your leg growth. While we're on volume, this set made me think of it again. Don't be afraid to like blow up the volume. I know I said it earlier, but you don't always have to remain in these stated volumes. Like, yes, most of your training should be scientifically based, but there's nothing wrong with just like bro repping it every now and then and just feeling the burn, as long as you're getting a good stretch, right? As long as you're not overdoing it and you're making sure you're still recovering and it's not blowing you out of your program, like it's not causing you to miss days or miss lifts numbers, then there's nothing wrong with it. And it's probably good for you, right? I would even go that far. An example, I think I said in another video, I like to do right now 100 reps of leg extensions and hamstring curls at the end of my workout, right? I feel like I've been doing them for so long, and they were a good part of my program, like right after my squats, but I wasn't getting a good enough pump in them. And so I was like, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to do them back to back, little to no break in between, kind of really force that muscle swelling, a type of density training, just squeezing work in a short amount of time, a lot of work. And I'm just going to go for high reps, higher reps than I'm used to, and I'm sure it's going to do something. And you see me doing some belt squats here, right? Another thing about switching up your training, spinal fatigue is real. If you load up that bar with enough weight and you load it up on your back, eventually your body will just feel tired. You will just feel like you need a break. And that's when you can switch to training that doesn't require loading heavy weights on your spine, but you can still use heavy weights with your legs, like a belt squat. The weight's not on my spine, legs are still loaded. Heavy leg press, another example. A hack squat, it's not directly on your spine. Things like that are going to be really useful, because while squats are useful and should make up the most predominant amount of your training, you're not going to be able to do them all the time. Even little things, minute things that people may not think of, like your hip flexors, doing some knee raises with a dumbbell in them, your adductors, working the side and the inside of your legs. Nice legs means you have nice legs, not just your quads and your hamstrings. Those are the big muscles, even the calf, the soleus and the gastric muscles. I know one of those is the calf. And your hip flexors, your adductors, it's the whole package. And if you want to get an effective body or an effective aesthetic strength profile, you're going to have to be in balance. These calf raises, look, I'm overloading them with the leg press. That is a nice variation, right? My calves are in a strengthened position, as opposed to a calf raise, which I strongly dislike, where your knees are bent. When your muscles are in a different position like that, you can overload them with different amounts of weights. You can use far heavier weights on the leg press, which stands to reason you can evoke far more stimulus on the leg press if you do those calf raises like that. So just switching up the little factors, the things people overlook, are often the things that take you that extra mile and really help you make a difference and segment that growth, that outstanding performance, right? We go above and beyond. We want above and beyond results. As we get near the end of this video, if you guys found anything of value, anything that's going to make your legs bigger, please like, subscribe, maybe even send to a friend who has toothpick legs. They won't know until they get to the end of the video, and by then they'll get some game, so they'll be grateful for it. But just share. It all helps the video grow, the channel grow, and it is greatly appreciated. So again, thank you guys for watching. Hope you learned something, and let's go out there and get some big legs. You got the tips, now go act on them this week.